One point was looking for cards were a blue-black control deck.
Let me tell you what he was looking for last night. He was looking for Reckless Waves.
Excellent. A new card.
That is a new card. Reckless Wave is a one-drop werewolf from Innistrad that when a player doesn't play a spell on turn, it transforms, costs red for a 1/1, but then it flips and it becomes a 3/2. So it's a very, very aggressive creature in the red deck.
That card sounds awesome.
We saw Stormcloak Noble, another new card, got Doombladed by Chris Lachmann. And there's Liliana, the newest of the new cards.
Yeah, all the dealers around here look like they were sold out. Liliana being one of the most popular cards for this weekend.
I heard they sold out like $40.
The big play is Liliana discarding my Liliana. That's on 4. It's devastating.
Now, Liliana's other ability is -2, -3, or -2?
-2 is sacrifice a creature.
And then the last one
is, I believe, -5 or -6.
Honestly,
I haven't gotten familiar enough with it. I haven't actually opened one at a draft yet.
Not lucky enough?
No, not lucky enough.
Like 3 drafts, 4 drafts?
But it's, the ultimate is just like factor fiction your opponent's permanents.
Okay.
You make all their permanents into 2 piles, and then they get to keep 1.
Wow.
The rest get big.
Can you? Seems pretty.
I believe it's 5. There's a Grim Lavamancer.
Christian Calcano, Grim Lavamancer, and plays another mountain, just passes it, so probably not the start that Christian's looking for.
Both these players have 1 loss. They're at 2-1. I saw Chris lose early. I believe he lost in round 1.
Okay.
Playing against a more or less mono green deck that was splashing red for Kessig Wolfrun.
That card's sweet.
And he would get that and a mountain off of Primeval Titan.
Wow.
But it was the 013 wall, the 013 plant that really did Calcano in. He just couldn't get through it. Couldn't deal enough damage, and
I mean, it's tough dealing 13 damage in 1 turn.
Yeah.
So it looked like it was Volt Charge for Calcano over there. Or is that a new bird spell?
I think that might be Brimstone Volley. I can't make out the card from here.
I think that's Volt Charge, and that's the werewolf, the transform card you're talking
That's
about.
Reckless Wave.
Reckless Wave. And Snapcaster Mage is going to buy back Doomblade.
Yep. So as you can see, Lachmann is just running like all the fine automobiles of this new format.
Sun Titan in his hand.
Sun Titan back with Liliana.
Pretty sweet with Liliana.
And
this is the Noble, right?
Yep, Stormcloak Noble.
I just want someone to flip it. I just want to see how it looks while you flip it during a game. You're like, all right.
Well, Noble doesn't flip.
Noble's just a Sliff Firewalker guy.
Oh, yeah,
Noble cannot be blocked by Snapcaster Mage. Stormcloak Noble cannot be blocked by humans. Guess what? Tiago Chan is.
Tiago posted as a Facebook message like, I'm hosting a secret draft at my house. Give me a call if you want in. And Cal Bagamis posted as a comment, I'll be waiting in the packs. Don't worry, guys. You'll be like, yeah.
Waka waka waka.
What does that mean?
They're too young.
Sun Titan, Liliana. I'm guessing Liliana right there, and
so we talked about the decks. Obviously, we're seeing sort of an Esper-colored deck from Lachmann. So he's playing Snapcaster Mage. He's playing Liliana. He's playing Sun Titan. He's got a Grave Titan. He's got Forbidden Alchemy in his deck, which is a new card from Innistrad. He is playing Unburial Rites. So this is essentially Solar Flare.
Yep.
A deck that you, Ben Schwartz, have very little respect for.
I have very little respect for it.
So what's your... People who don't know what Solar Flare is a deck from, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago at U.S. Nationals. It was a Magic Online deck that Paul Cheon and Luis Scott Vargas burst onto the scene with to both make the national team at U.S. Nationals. First and second, yeah. And, so it was a deck that would, attack people's hands and just kind of play this attrition war and then reanimate fatties.
Chris just took down game 1. But yeah, we could go on now.
I mean, I was pretty much sure where that game was going.
But before I finish my argument with you, we'd like to thank our sponsor, ChannelFireball.com, Be sure to visit channelfireball.com for all of your Innistrad single needs. They've got every Innistrad single in stock at the lowest prices on the web, so go to channelfireball.com.
So, for example, if you wanted a Liliana of the Veil or a Snapcaster Mage,
you could go to channelfireball.com.
Perhaps if you didn't want a Stromkirk Noble. I don't know, I gotta tell you, I am not excited. A lot of people here are playing mono red.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot of different colors have a lot of really good answers to mono red.
I think if I were playing this tournament, I'd play Tempered Steel, because I think that a lot of people are underestimating it. But anyway, back to Solar Flare. So the week before U.S. Nationals, there's Australian Nationals, and it did well at that tournament. And I actually played the JSS that weekend where it came out as a deck. And a lot of the JSS kids switched over to Solar Flare the night before, and I almost did it. And one of the major problems was, at least in the JSS, the most played deck was the Blue-Red Tron deck, which the Solar Flare deck had a terrible matchup against. And still a bunch of people played with it. A bunch of the kids did well. That's not saying much because it was, the JSS, the level of skill wasn't that good. I mean, I also played a deck that was terrible against Blue-Red Tron.
Nice, I dominated the JSS humble brags by Ben Swartz.
But in reality, it didn't seem to me like it did enough as a deck. It wasn't back then, at least. It wasn't really where I wanted to be. Like you did all this library manipulation. It was like you were saying. It's a great PTQ level deck. You get to touch your deck a lot, but
right for a tournament like this, I mean, you feel like you have a lot of. You're going to see. Yeah. I'm going to look at a lot of cards. I'm going to have a lot of different. You see a lot of 1-ofs and 2-ofs in the deck. I'm going to be able to find the right answer to this situation. I'm going to have a lot of room to sideboard and play with stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very much a grinder deck where you feel like you're just gonna have this edge on your opponent.
And I agree with you there, but I don't know, especially for this tournament, I wouldn't play Solar Flare, even if it were the most powerful deck. I wouldn't play it because even Solar Flare being off 5 or 6 cards, which almost assuredly these lists of Solar Flare are, isn't going to beat a streamlined aggro deck like maybe Tempered Steel.
Was there a tool for Solar Flare that was anything remotely like Liliana of the Veil?
I mean, Compulsive Research was so good in that deck. That was probably the best card in the Solar Flare deck. I mean, you also had Kokusho and Zombify.
How much better than Zombify is Unburial Rites?
I mean, obviously it's a lot better, but your creatures are a lot worse.
Yeah, but Liliana, the ability for Liliana to protect herself. You have Doom Blades and Timely Reinforcements, and you're able to just sort of pick things off as you need. And then if there's one thing, you can just get it to a situation where, this is the card that's going to threaten Liliana. Well, sacrifice a creature.
I mean, I'm not saying that in the abstract each of individuals Solar Flare's cards are bad, because in both cases of Solar Flare, each of their individual cards were very, very good. But I think that as a whole, both in this tournament and perhaps later on, it might not be able to compete with some of the aggro decks. I mean, how is Solar Flare going to do against Tempered Steel? I mean, we're seeing how it's going to do against the red deck, but Calcano that last game had a pretty slow start.
Right.
If Calcano, if one of those waifs was able to flip over and deal 6 points of damage, where would Lachmann been in that game?
At 14.
Well,
and then at 20 with 3 1/1s.
Is he playing a full 4 timely reinforcements?
He's playing 2, and then he's got 2 more on the board, which I imagine he's brought in.
Bring in things like Elish Norn too, and the Gideons.
He can bring in Mental Misstep here. Mental Misstep's actually fantastic, right? How much damage do you save?
Yeah, especially on the
from
draw.
A Reckless Waif or a Stromkirk Noble.
I mean, he brought it in. You can see it in his opening hand. And looks like he's going to mulligan that hand, though.
I don't use a
Calcano stayed at 7?
Yeah. I don't know,
Yeah, that's an interesting card in Lachmann's build. He's got a Merfolk Looter in the deck. 3.
Yeah, that's a card that I've seen in a number of different lists playing a Solar Flare deck. I know Ben Lundquist was playing Solar Flare, and he had Merfolk Looter.
It gives you a little extra oomph as far as getting to your Unburial Rites, putting your cards in your yard.
I mean, that's the big problem, is that Compulsive Research was such a good card in the old Solar Flare list, and there's nothing like that anymore. I mean, there's the Strategic Planning card, the look at the top 4 and bin 3 of them. And
Forbidden Alchemy.
Forbidden Alchemy, and that's kind of like Compulsive Research, but it's really not.
I mean, it's pretty insane.
What is the flashback cost on that one?
It's
7.
7. Okay.
I mean, it happens.
It happens.
I've watched these grinding blue black versus Esper colored, blue white splashing black, just grindy matches yesterday in playtesting, and it was just insane. The person who just had the most Forbidden Alchemies always won.
I'm really looking forward to see how these decks develop. Because like Ben said,
There's the
early
Noble.
on, the decks definitely are not where they should be.
So Lachmann mulliganed to a hand with Mental Misstep away, and now is
Noble is getting in.
on the wrong side of a Stromkirk Noble.
In turn 2, Calcano's got Stormblood Berserker that gets bloodthirsted thanks to the Noble.
So he's got 5 points attacking on turn 3 right now.
Yeah, I heard a story about someone who lost on turn 4 to his red opponent. It's like turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Berserker, turn 3 Volt Charge, pump up both my guys, turn 4 Galvanic Blast you, and attack, you're dead. Maybe one more Galvanic Blast, but Calcano's Berserker gets Doombladed, but he recoups with a Grim Lavamancer, and his Noble gets Oblivion Ringed.
Yeah.
Up there now. There's a Koth
It's
here.
Koth. Hopefully that wasn't the land he played this turn.
Chris does have another Oblivion Ring, though.
How much damage has Calcano done this game? I mean, Lachmann is clearly not at 17. It's closer, probably like 10 or 9, right? And another Koth for Calcano. Wow. Calcano doesn't even want to keep another mountain on top there. He just wants to be so aggressive.
Yeah.
And that Liliana is just... And Snap... I guess Lachmann does have a Snapcaster Mage this turn, so he's going to cast Snapcaster Mage and then probably Doomblade the mountain and block
the Lavamancer.
I mean, then Koth goes to Ultimate. I don't think you can block the Lavamancer here. I think you have to take it. I saw...
The Lavamancer's not going to even come in now that he has the extra mountains.
So yeah, Mountain's going to get in. And Lachmann, I think he's got to have to at least cast Snapcaster Mage and kill the Mountain, right? Like, he's going to die to Koth next turn, but...
He might be chumping and then killing the Grim Lavamancer, seeing if he could slip that by Calcano.
I mean, he's still... I don't think that... Like, Lachmann needs an Oblivion Ring off the top to be able to win, because he needs to get rid of that Koth, because if it ultimates, Lachmann's dead, right?
So there's only 3 Oblivion Rings in his main deck. And, none on his side.
Yeah, something has to be done with the... what card is that?
That's the...
is that Devil's Play?
Devil's Play, yeah.
That's exciting.
That's going to get mana leaked.
That's going to get mana, but next turn he can Ritual with Koth and...
Yeah, even if Koth, falls down a couple loyalty. But nope, the red deck wins here off of a quick start from Christian Calcano and takes it to a game 3.
I wonder if things would have been different. I didn't see Chris's hand other than the Mental Misstep in the first hand, but it did look like he had a couple lands, so I'm wondering if he should have just kept the Mental Misstep.
The Mental Misstep is like, if he starts off on Mental Misstep, he takes 2, but the Noble doesn't hit him, the Berserker doesn't come down as a 3/3.
And he still has another Oblivion
And then
Ring.
he's still got his, stuff. Yeah, I think Mental Misstep's an excellent card right now in Standard.
Especially against the red decks.
Mental Misstep leaving all the other formats now.
Yeah.
Seeing how good that's been. Chris making some changes. Looked like he grabbed a Grave Titan.
Maybe I'm wrong about Solar Flare, but AJ Soccer messaged me on Facebook during this week, and he's like, just a quick question. You remember a bunch of decks. Has Solar Flare ever done well, Ben? Like, I want something to tell these people on the chat.
It did well at Nationals.
But after that, not really, right?
Sure. But I don't think it was as robust as this version is.
I mean, to be fair, this version will have more time to become more robust, right? That format
Sure.
changed because Cold Snap came out, 2 weeks later, and the counterbalance top deck was a real thing.
But look at the cards you get in this deck. You have Wormcoil Engine. You have Snapcaster Mage to buy you a ton of time. You have Grave Titan. You have Merfolk Looter. You have Forbidden Alchemy, which is just preposterous in this deck, right? You're like, I've got nothing. Oh, look, now I have a Grave Titan and an Unburial Rates in my graveyard. At the end of your turn, untap Grave Titan. And a card that I drew that I wanted to keep in my hand. You have Sun Titan on top of that. So you're like, Unburial Rates my Sun Titan, get back my Liliana. We both discard a card. It's crazy. This deck is super, super resilient. Like, the only thing it needs to do is stay alive for the early turns. I can't imagine this deck losing many games that go past, like, 6 turns.
Turn sepia color.
You think like not using something like Dismember now?
It was sepia
Not
color
using
first.
I think it's a little surprising that there's not maybe a Dismember in the sideboard. It's kind of an odd choice.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested why you didn't play that, but I guess as his Doomblades, what else? It's Oblivion Rings and Day of Judgment as his main removal.
I don't know. At least it's exciting to see the beginnings of the standard format because I'm sure it's going to evolve over the next couple of weeks and see where it ends up at Worlds, right?
I think at Worlds you're going to see a lot of decks that are blue, white, black, like in the hands of the players that just love to play the control decks. I mean, you get to play all the cards.
Well, there's Grimlockmancer.
Yep, Grimlockmancer.
Nothing to be too scared of right now.
And a Doomblade I see in Lachmann's hand, so Lachmann's going to save that Doomblade. He also has a Liliana, but I'm not sure if he's got a third. He does have a third one. He's got a Swamp, so. Lovemancer's threatening 1 point here, and Doomblade's going to take it out. Lachmann, I assume, doesn't want to get Stormblood Berserkered.
Yep.
Which is exactly what Calcano has, so it was a good play on Lachmann's part.
1/1 Storm Berserker. Not really that intimidating right now.
And
I'm kind of playing any sort of burn other than
the Devil's Play. And
the Devil's Play.
So his deck, he's got Katha the Hammer, Incinerate, Shrine of Burning Rage, Volt Charge, 1 Devil's Play. He's got the Spike Shot Elders.
All right, so he does have a
card he may have brought in this matchup is Mana Barbs.
Oh yeah, that's true. It'd be this is the matchup you bring it in. I don't see other matchup you really want it.
He's also got Slag Storm and another Devil's Play in his board.
Calcano here, considering what he wants to do, he's got an Incinerate in hand. He's got, it looks like 3 Mana Barbs in his hand, so he's going to Incinerate Liliana and cast
Reckless Wave.
Reckless Wave, yeah. So we're going to see if that Reckless Wave actually gets to flip over. Doesn't look like it as Lachmann just drew a Timely Reinforcements, but
Forbidden Alchemy.
He's going to, cast Forbidden Alchemy instead.
Keep a white source.
I guess, Lachmann didn't have a white source to cast that Timely Reinforcements.
Glacial Fortress, Seachrome Coast, Mana Leak Hand, another Forbidden Alchemy. I believe that was part of it.
Yeah, he's going to keep Glacial Fortress, play that untapped, and pass the turn back to Calcano.
So if Calcano's able to play this Mana Barbs, things are going to look real good for him here.
But I don't know if he drew a 4th land.
I don't know how good. I mean, Timely Reinforcements, just...
Oh, that's true. I forgot the Timely.
There's a land from Calcano, and is he going to cast that Mana Barbs?
He has to, doesn't he?
I mean, he could cast nothing here, and then his guy flips over, but that doesn't seem better than getting Mana Barbs here. Yeah, Mana Barbs for Calcano.
Mana Leak picked up a Chris Lachmann this turn.
So take 3, gain
6, get 3 1/1s.
Yeah, Lachmann's going to go to 22. Man. And now Calcano's both at a creature and life disadvantage to Lachmann.
Yeah, it doesn't seem great.
You know it's better than 1 Mana Barbs?
2 Mana Barbs?
2 Mana Barbs. I don't know if I don't think Calcano's going to play it, but...
Calcano maybe...
Well, he's going to flip his Reckless Wave.
Yep.
Okay.
It becomes a 3/2.
And Worm Coil Engine for Lachmann.
That's something I'll take 6 damage for, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess today I'll take 6 damage for that one. His Mana Barb's really looking good for Chris. No red mana. Probably one of the best plays he could have done. Calcano in real trouble here. I'm looking through his deck. I can't see a sequence of plays I really want, but it involves... Nope, can't really see anything I really want.
Yeah, I can't imagine him winning this game.
Yeah, there's nothing in his board that I see Banner Skull is not going to help, even if he had it. Manic Vandal. I know a lot of bullshit for Refuge on his board. I know a lot of dealers are saying a lot of players were coming up to them asking for that sideboard card.
Yeah, I saw Steve Saden use that card to great effect earlier today.
Koth for Calcano. He's going to take 4 damage for that.
Tap a mountain.
He'd take another damage if he wants to attack with that mountain, but no.
He doesn't.
Calcano just thinking, what did I get myself into?
What have I done?
This Mana Barbs are supposed to be the sweetest thing ever. And instead it looks like she's going to have to double Volt Charge Coil Engine.
Doesn't even
Quest.
help.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah,
It just delays the inevitable.
Now is Wormcoil Engine attacking Calcano or Koth? Doesn't matter. Calcano's going to chump.
Calcano
Flips his
flipping it
wave back before he puts it in the yard, which is the correct thing to do.
Lachmann goes back up to 22 life.
So you're going to incinerate the... Nope. It seems miserable.
Yeah, I can't picture what Calcano would want to do right here. It's a really hard sequence of plays. It involves getting rid of mana, Wormcoil Engine.
And possibly his own mana barbs.
And his mana barbs. But that's not going to happen.
I think the only way Calcano can get rid of his mana barbs
Mana
is by
barbs just
scooping.
doesn't seem amazing to me in a room full of timely reinforcements.
Yeah,
Like, you can actually even turn on their timely reinforcements. You know, in a game where they're off to a slow start.
Mana Barbs, you really need a really quick start, and then play the Barbs and hope they don't have time.
He had a pretty suboptimal draw.
I mean, we saw the games that Calcano can win, where Lachmann has a slow start and Calcano has a really quick start.
Right.
In game 2, that's what we saw. But when Calcano has a slow start, or his slow start is disrupted,
Calcano would like that Mana Barbs to be something like Sulfuric Vortex. Be a lot happier with something like that.
Yeah,
You don't take one from Mana Barbs when you attack with your mountain, do you?
I think it's whenever a land becomes tapped.
Yeah, I think it's whenever a land becomes
Because I remember seeing an opposition in the table at one point when Mana Barbs was legal.
Stormblood Berserker for Calcano. It's going to drop him to 3rd.
I do like Calcano's never say die attitude here. I clearly would have just picked up my cards and gone off to complain on Facebook in all caps about FML.
And then go to Reading Terminal Market and smash a couple of pastrami sandwiches.
At least.
And then complain about how long the line is. I cannot believe it.
The line at Bassett's Ice Cream. But actually,
Like,
because
is the worst thing in Calcano's life, like, losing in an 8-man Swiss draft queue and then having your caps lock key be broken?
Luckily for Calcano, though, even if he loses this match, the way the tournament's structured, he can easily make X2 into the top 24.
Absolutely.
So he's not completely out of this tournament.
He's had a fairly tough road early on in this tournament. I don't know who he played round 1, but his round 2 opponent was Stuart Wright,
Okay.
who Calcano beat.
Oh, wow.
And then, playing Pro Tour champion Chris Lachmann here in round 3.
I mean, there's a lot of good players in the room today.
I gotta tell you, this area of the United States has a high concentration of random Pro Tour winners, random, Open Series grinders, some of the toughest PTQs in the world.
For sure.
Or in this part of the country.
So Calcano, not sure if he floated off that mountain or just activated it. But he has some sort of plan here. Attack for 7? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, that wasn't the plan.
Land go.
Tapping 7 mana end of turn for the Forbidden Alchemy.
You can tell that if Lachmann is okay with giving Calcano 7-3 damage. Calcano's really
what
far
I
out
think
of
of
this
your
game.
mana barbs.
Looks
I'll
like
take 7.
Looks like Lachmann's going to get a Gideon off this.
Gideon,
Forbidden
Sun
Alchemy.
Titan, Plains and Mental Misstep are his choices.
Maybe a Gideon.
Maybe
Maybe
a
a
Sun
Sun Titan, rather.
So Lachmann just went to 15. He's like, don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. Nice card I played on your side. Oh, the Mental Misstep was taken away?
Oh, looks that way.
Was it even a Mental Misstep?
Yeah, I'm
Was
pretty
it
sure
one?
it's.
Yeah, it does look like it.
And attack you.
Chris is just getting cocky, right? He's like, oh, look what I left. What do you think is the one card I took?
It's better than Gideon and
Oh,
something.
look at that. I don't want to tussle with my 1/1s. Calcano has to block the Worm Coil Engine.
I think Calcano should tap all 6 of his mountains. And end the turn / game.
I think he should block with his Mana Barbs and kill it.
I hope that works, but congratulations to Pro Tour champion Chris Lachmann for taking down Christian Calcano in 3 games, moving on to 3-1.
You're at MTG
At the
Grudge
halfway
match.
mark.
Yeah.
Halfway mark of the standard portion of the grudge match.
In the booth right now, you can see all our little pictures there. Ben Swartz, Ray Punzlund, Brian David Marshall.
And Ray Punzlund's shoulder in Brian David Marshall's picture.
Oh, yeah.
The what?
My shoulder was in your picture,
Oh,
too.
sweet. So you get an idea of the proximity. Hey, everybody.